5 years. Yes, 4.5 years.
May I call the meeting of the Parsippany Troy Hills Board of Education to order on September 25th, 2025. In compliance with Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, entitled Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as specified in the act in the following manner. A meeting notice was published in the newspaper and on the district website on January 8th, 2025. In addition, the notice of the meeting was posted at the municipal building, in the schools, and a copy of the notice filed with the township clerk and transmitted to other newspapers on September 16th, 2025. The Daily Record, the Star Ledger, Parsippany Focus, Tap into Parsippany, Patch, and the district website. This regular public board meeting is being video recorded as per Bylaw 168. The recordings of these meetings will be available on our district website and our Video on the Go YouTube channel. We ask that you please refrain from using student or staff names in your statement. Professionalism is expected at all times. Please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have the roll call, please?
Mrs. Abraham.
Here.
Mr. Barrios.
Here.
Mrs. Delafave.
Here.
Mr. DeVito.
Here.
Mrs. Mayer.
Here.
Mr. Rhea.
Yes, here.
Dr. Wright.
Here.
Mrs. Chappelle.
Here.
Mrs. Kogan.
Here. Okay, we're up to our student committee reports. Welcome, Ashita, go ahead.
All right, so last week on September 18th, we had our back to school night. Also on September 18th, our counseling team hosted our first college fair of the year in the media center. Two main events for freshmen. We had freshman fun night, which happened on September 22nd, Monday. This is where freshmen signed up and were divided into groups by colors. They went around the school and played games hosted by the student council members, and the winning group all got donuts from Dunkin'. Then we have Freshman Fun Day, which is on October 3rd, and it's hosted by Plaque. And then at the end, between 1:28 to 2:28, we have the club fair in the patio, and this is just a way freshmen can get more involved in school life. On Friday at 6 a.m., we have Senior Sunrise. And then for athletics, we have the girls' tennis county tournament tomorrow. We have a football game at Montville Friday. And then Saturday, September 27th, we have the boys' soccer game versus Parsippany High School. And then lastly, for marching band, who are in first place at their first competition of the season.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for our student?
That's 6 a.m. for Senior Sunrise?
Yeah.
All right.
I have my alarm set for 5 a.m.
Always fun.
All right, thank you very much. All right, at this point, we're going to do a committee of the whole. Mr. DeVito, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mrs. Kogan. So for the Buildings and Grounds Committee tonight, we have a number of agenda topics, starting off with the summer projects and their status. Dr. McHugh.
Okay, so we had four projects over the summer. Our Mount Tabor roof project, we're in great shape here. We're down to punch list items, the metal's installed around the end, which is usually the last step, and they're just taking care of a couple minor items. Unfortunately, they can only work after school and before the sun goes down, so they have very small windows to finish this up, but not bad. Littleton roof project, we're a little bit farther behind on that. We're waiting for the metal to be delivered, and they had to order a special roof access ladder. That should arrive within the next couple weeks, and then they'll be installing it after school as well. Parsippany Hills serving line, if you haven't had an opportunity to get over there, it's beautiful. We renovated both serving lines. It looks great. Some of the items were delivered damaged, so there's a fairly substantial list of punch list items that have to be repaired, but nothing that prevents it from being used currently. So we're in good shape there. We're using it, but we're repairing it as we go. And then the Pace Lab renovation, it's completed. We had a little bit of a delay due to issue with ceiling heights. It was 2 rooms that became 1, and the ceilings were different heights, so we had a little bit of delay, but it is now up and running, and we're in good shape there.
So next item we have is the expansion projects.
So Littleton Phase 1, I know you're going to be surprised to hear this, but we're still waiting on an antenna to be installed on the roof, and that can't be done until we get approval to have an antenna on the roof. But the area inside is being used. It's not preventing anything educationally to happen. Students are in there. That extension, Phase 1, provided 6 pre-K rooms and 1 related services room. But the antenna is, yet again, the issue. Phase 2, it's in design phase. It was recently approved by DOE down at the state. That's going to provide us 7 pre-K rooms and 1 related services room. And if we get the other antenna, we don't need a second one, so that'll be good.
Okay, but I guess before I go into our next item, was there a question that you had about some of that Littleton stuff, Ms. Chappelle?
I did, he
Based on
answered
your-
it. It was about what was going to be available.
Okay, got it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Can I just ask,
Go ahead.
have we heard nothing from the town about the form for the antenna approval?
The last I heard, it was with the attorney. Is that still the case?
But that's where it was a month ago, too.
And that's still where it is, the attorney just takes so long.
Okay, just,
Apparently, this is the first time they're doing it, so it's a new process for them, but it started in April.
They have created the form, and now the form is at the attorney level. See whether it's.
But
Not
it's,
you.
but it's a really nice
The
antenna.
township
So,
attorney. We should
Go ahead,
clarify. The
Mr.
township.
Barrios, you had a question?
Nothing surprises me, but for Littleton, with this whole antenna, since we've already started the school year, and obviously you said there's nothing stopping us from having students in, I mean, I'm assuming that we're covered that in 6 months they're not going to turn around and say, you never got your permits. I mean, to be fair and honest, they did it to me just recently for my addition that happened in 2014. They said, you didn't get this signed off on. I'm like, what are you talking about? Now, luckily, I have everything, but, you know, things are what they are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, has that been discussed, or, I mean, I'm hoping that wouldn't be the case, but.
Secondhand information, our facilities manager spoke with the town, and they have indicated that it's not an issue, but that was verbal, not in writing, so.
And we have the temporary.
That's
CO.
right.
And we do have a temporary CO through November, and they
But
said
you
they
have
would
to keep
renew
renewing it, right?
every 6 months.
What is the process of renewing that? Like, is that, so that's gonna be like early November is when that comes up? So a little over a month away?
It can be done in one day. We go over, fill out a quick form. Since we're a school, we don't pay anything. Oops, sorry, threw my pen at her. And they go in and stamp it, and it's handed back. It's pretty quick.
Okay, thank you.
And they're aware of why we are asking for an extension, so it seems to make it go a little quicker.
Very good.
Got to get Bob back on there. It's like, ah.
Okay, so then there's some other projects you got updates on.
So I guess the most exciting project is the Parsippany Hills HVAC project. We installed new HVAC in the technology area of Parsippany Hills. The challenge is we use a ROD grant. The system wasn't operating for a considerable period of time, again, since April. But we're hopeful that we have gone past that. It's been operating for now 48 hours, I guess, without interruption. We're still setting up our computer system, our access system, so we can monitor the unit. And if everything works, then we can finally move forward. The challenge for us is a ROD grant is a temporary grant. We have a deadline where we have to reply to the state. We like to do that very quickly. Of all the projects to be delayed, this was the one that we probably wouldn't have selected. But we've made some progress. We had a meeting with the vendors, our board attorney, and some of us from the business office, and I think we've maybe turned the corner. So that's the first one. Second one is we have a permit issue. We have a construction company that modified plans when they put in a sign, a large sign and flagpole. The town will not close the permit out until that vendor provides us with detailed architectural drawings of what the foundation looks like, and that has yet to, we haven't obtained that yet. We are hopefully going to do that soon. We're not pushing all that hard because they're also working on multiple other projects, and we don't want to burn down the house, but we are making sure that they're aware that they're responsible for providing this, so.
And then the final thing you have here is building walkthroughs.
Yes, so we're going to actually go through every building, the 14 schools and the additional buildings over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's really the start of the budget window. We're going to look at all the hopes and dreams and needs and wants and make a big list. And hopefully we'll have a really nice starting point, so when we start to sit down, really determine what we need for budget, we're in good shape. And that consists of myself, Colleen, Nick would like to go, Bill, our facilities manager, as well as the principal, head custodian in the building, and anybody else that really wants to provide input to us.
And then, I guess you already have started like a framework of a budget, of the budget
Yes,
timeline?
I have the budget calendar, we're just kind of ticking and tying. We were waiting for these to be scheduled, they were just scheduled this week, and I'm able to finish up the budget calendar. And I'll have it for you next time.
Very good. Anyone else have any questions? That's buildings and grounds.
We did a good job, no questions. Look at that.
Okay. We will move on to correspondence. Is there any correspondence to come before the board?
No
No
correspondence.
correspondence. All right, unfinished business. I think we have a few things in unfinished business today. Mrs. Chappelle?
Cogan?
Oh, sorry.
Isn't there a number of other committee reports?
We haven't gotten committee reports yet.
Fair enough.
I'll get there. Unfinished business. Mrs. Chappelle, did you?
Yes, thank you. So you'll see on your desk is the updated copy of the Code of Governance. Apologies for getting it to you so late. It does reflect all the edits that were made, the additions, and anything that was removed. So please take a review, and I welcome any other questions or comments that you have. But hopefully we can wrap this up by our next meeting.
Do we have the code of governance?
It's on your desk.
I think it's the last one.
A lot of red.
Staple.
It will have some like purple or red lines and red words in it.
Burgundy.
Sorry, burgundy. Thank you. I'm not a red line person either, so I know where it's coming from. I would have done, orange would have been good.
All right. Do we have any questions for Mrs. Chappelle?
Again, I welcome them via email or text. Just reach out to me.
Okay. Mrs. Abraham, did you want to give us a recap of your back-to-school visit?
Yes. Thank you. Just to recap from back to school night, I had a conversation with Michelle last week at the end of our meeting, and kind of discussed a little bit about it, and she said, it would be a good idea that if we try to kind of reconvene at the next board meeting after we have a chance to go to the remainder of the back-to-school nights, that we could continue to discuss any other, comments or basically just a debrief so that everyone has a chance to gather their thoughts or come prepared with feedback that they wanted to share. And I really wasn't quite sure where to put it. Obviously, it wasn't new business, but wasn't sure if it fit under liaison, so that's why I sent you an email about it. Just in the interest of continuing to enhance the communication and talk about our experiences when we have our interactions. I can also talk about my experience at Parsippany Hills, or I can wait until liaison time, whatever you want. But I just wanted to mention that just because, it's always wonderful to hear from our board members and everyone else as to, all the good news that's out there. And when we attend these back-to-school nights, of course, there's a lot of information. And we, as most of us, have parents in the district too, so we get to kind of experience it in a duality experience. And so I just wanted to thank Ms. Chappelle for giving me that opportunity, and that it was a good idea to have a debrief. So whether this time or next time or any time really, if anybody wanted to, talk about their experiences or provide any feedback, I think it would be wonderful. So really just wanted to take a moment to mention that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess maybe during the liaison part, if anybody who went to the back-to-school night just wants to give a brief update, what I think I'm going to do is, we've had a few instances where we want to give feedback, and I kind of want to put everything in the same place. So I think I'm going to ask the Critical Issues Committee to just come up with one form that says, you know, this was the event, this is, you know, what I got out of it, this is suggestions for the future, because we always end up getting to the board evaluation time, and we always think, oh, there was something in the beginning of the year that I thought of, and we didn't document, and now I don't remember. So, you know, I would like Critical Issues to take that on and just have like one Google Doc where anybody can, you know, put their information in, and we can keep track of it so that, you know, if there are positive suggestions or negative suggestions or whatever, that we can act on them and not forget that we had them. So during the liaison report, if anybody went to a back-to-school night and wants to, you know, mention it, that I think would be perfectly fine. Mrs. Mayor?
I went to, can I mention it now, that I went to the high?
Sure.
I went to the high's back-to-school night, and before they had the full back-to-school night, they had senior parents come in. And it was really well done. The parents had all these questions, and they were really good about giving them information, how to help their student apply for different things. So I thought it was a really good thing. The guidance counselors were all there, and the senior parents were very receptive. And then after about a half an hour, they let everybody in. But I thought that was just a really good idea because they had a million questions. So I think it was really helpful.
All right, since she started, let's just finish with back-to-school night. Gisela, do you want to give us
Yeah,
your
sure, go ahead.
recap?
Yes. So myself and Mr. DeVito were all at Parsippany Hills on September 18th, well attended per usual. Of course, he has a student there, so 2 students there, so he went off to his classrooms, and I just took a couple of minutes to speak to our administrators, and then went over to see the new cafeteria line equipment, which, to reiterate, it is absolutely fantastic. I just wanted to take the time to mention the variety of items that are there, from salads to Chipotle-style food, hot food called the Daily Dish. They have shakes, bagels, pizza and pasta stations, strombolis, farm fresh stand, very decorated very well for the season. They have snack shacks, ready-to-go foods, fruits, sandwiches, soup, coffee stations, you know, whatever you can imagine, they have it. The number of staff that we have there, they were very enthused to discuss it and how they were very proud of what it looks like and the amount of improvements that have been made. They love the redesign and expressed a lot about how much they appreciated it. And they even talked about an interest in coming to talk to us about it, which, of course, anytime anybody wants to come to a board meeting to talk to us about anything, I always say, please come. They just, just to reiterate the success of it, the developments, the reception from the students and staff, they're just very, very proud of it, and I was thrilled to see it. And, I wish it was lunchtime so I could have eaten some of the food, but it was wonderful. And by the way, we can also have hot food at our meetings. So they told us, if you want hot food, just let us know. There was also another setup for Knowledge is Key, which is the bedroom setup. We have Morris County has the Knowledge is Key. I guess they do a tour around different schools, in middle schools and high schools, where they set up a room, like a bedroom, like a teenage bedroom, to show parents and students how easy it is to really hide vapes and other drug paraphernalia in plain sight in these bedrooms, like in hairbrushes, soda cans, highlighters, etc. So that's always welcome and very shocking sometimes if you haven't seen it before, where things can be hidden directly in plain sight.
So is that somewhere that the parents could walk by?
It was right next to the cafeteria line, set up, so you couldn't miss it. And The only other thing that I would have said that I forgot to say about back to school night was there was a suggestion to me when we were talking about elementary back to school nights that perhaps instead of doing a group meeting like we had in the past, that maybe you can set up a table like Pomptonian or the T-shirt sales or the PTA with like tchotchkes or pamphlets, because everybody loves tchotchkes, in the absence of group meetings. So I just wanted to mention that since it was suggested to me and I didn't want to miss it. That's all. Thank you.
Anybody else attend back to school night?
Yeah, well, since I was already at the Hills with Miss Abraham, as you mentioned, so as Dr. Thompson mentioned in the beginning, he goes, Mr. DeVito's wearing 2 hats tonight. So in addition to their presentation, which is always very good, they bring in the counselors, they do a slideshow in the beginning for everybody there, which again, it is very well attended, which I think is always very good to see. And then they had the PTSA come up and introduce themselves as well, which is always good to obviously try and get membership. And then we went into the classroom. So Dr. Thompson, unfortunately, had mentioned that a couple teachers were out sick that day, so they weren't even in their classes, and there were 2 of my daughter's classes, so I was able to kind of shuffle between hers and my son's, because my wife had to leave early because we were doing double duty between the 2 of us. So I was able to see a good spattering of their teachers, which of course, they're very professional. They did a great job, of course, all of them, within only like 8 minutes to be able to go through what goes on in the class, and then they're moving on to the next group. So that's kind of how the pace is, even though you're thinking it's going to be a long night, it goes very quickly, and such. And I was able to find all the classrooms without a whole lot of trouble. They had a lot of nice students helping people find the classrooms if they didn't know where they were going. But that's about it. Thank you.
I attended Parsippany High Schools as well. My daughter's there as well, so I did. I had the 2 hats on at the PHS. I sat for the parent portion in the beginning, and then went all up to the classes. It was great. It was fun.
Anybody else? Okay. The only other old business I have is regarding the ordinance for the Board of Ed and the pilots with the township. The mayor's said he will be meeting with the council subcommittee to discuss it. So, sounds very much like last month's report. So, no news on that either. All right, now we're up to committee reports, committee and liaison reports. I guess we'll start down at that end of the table. Mr. Raya?
Okay, the Communications Committee met on September 22nd. Attending were myself, Mrs. Delafave, Mr. Barrios, Mrs. Chappelle, and Dr. Mulrooney's listed here, but I don't think you were there, and Mrs. Benos. Our committee developed we're developing a parent toolkit with one of the goals being to empower parents and families to advocate for our schools on 2 particular topics. One of them is the school funding formula, which is more of a statewide issue, and also the pilot issue that we've been dealing with for the last year and a half. And both are impacting schools. We've received a lot of emails from parents, not complaining, but they're concerned about the class sizes, rightfully so. But, that is a byproduct of the issues with the school funding formula and then the offsetting inflation on our expenses. So we are working on Mr. Barrios took what we talked about on Monday and made a nice update that we will continue to update and tweak and present at the next board meeting. And also we'll want to, when we do that, we'll get legal input, and we will get from Dr. Chase. She'll be on board by then.
Any questions for Mr. Raya? All right. Mrs. Abraham?
Thank you. On September 11th, we had the Transportation Committee meet as a committee of the whole. Obviously, all of us were there. And in addition to that, Ms. Tiffany Pisa as well. As you know, the committee discussed the STA routes for this school year, how they have 86 routes this year, and all good news for that. Parsippany routes for 25-26 of 16 high schools, 5 middle schools, 19 elementary, and 5 preschool routes. and the midday routes as well, and VOTEC and the shared programs and our work program. We also discussed the orientation for secondary schools to save money. We started doing this in-house about 3 years ago with our drivers and aides. We also discussed academy and VOTEC enrollment, and we have 44 routes in the AM and 38 in the PM. We also discussed parent guide to transportation that has been revised for the upcoming school year, or this school year, I'm sorry, that families can view and download the updated guide directly from our district website. So we, of course, encourage all parents to review the guide as it includes important information about bus routes, safety procedures, and transportation policies. We also had updates on new bus students from the developments, and as well as Park has 30 elementary school students and 4 in district special ed, 1 out of district special ed, and 1 charter school student, as well as 1515 has 2 elementary, 3 middle, and 2 high school students. There was a question that came up about whether GPS is used on school buses, and currently we do not have GPS on our buses, and I think Tiffany discussed that a little bit. And of course, Dr. McHugh stated that we're looking ahead, we're exploring more cost-effective maintenance options for our bus fleet, and our goal is to always ensure the continued safety and reliability of our transportation services while making financially responsible decisions. Thank you very much. That's my report.
Any questions, even though we were all there?
Just one comment, the date on here says the 12th, it was on the 11th.
It was
Yes.
on the 11th, yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Mayor, I don't think you have any report, right? Mrs. Delafave for sports?
Sure. Hi. So the Sports Co-Curricular Committee met on September 16th. Our committee members present were myself, Mr. Barrios, Ms. Mayer, Ms. Cogan, Todd Ricker, Joni Benos, and the athletic directors, Mike DiBernard and Jim Huff, as well as a lot of the Booster Club presidents or representatives of the respective clubs. So each athletic director gave an update for the sports that are going on in the fall. I'm not going to read them all to you, they're all here, but some are going well, some would like to be better, but go all the teams. So there's some coach and booster club positions open. They're trying to fill mostly at the high school, so coaches for lacrosse, track, and softball. They're trying to strengthen the connections with the youth group, with the kids and the community to try to get people involved to go to each sporting event and encourage participation. I had questioned about uniform rotation and who knows when the board purchases uniforms for the various sports that we have. I was informed it was a 3 to 4 year schedule, and if any booster club wants to reach out and find that out, they should contact the athletic director for the schedule. A lot of booster clubs that I have spoken to don't know that information, so I'm hoping to get the word out there that lines of communication open. We talked a little bit about the teams that are combining between the Hills and the High, so wrestling, basketball, girls basketball, boys lacrosse, and ice hockey. It seems like it's going well, so we'll keep an eye on how that goes throughout the year. Fans in the high school gyms, neither gym have HVAC or cooling in place. They have giant fans in the top of the gym. So typically I don't think it's that much of an issue except for when they have to turn them off for our volleyball sporting events on both sides of town. It's really hot, oppressively hot with no airflow. I know there's no doors or windows open, so we asked if Buildings and Grounds and the powers that be look into something for the spectators and the students. I've gotten lots of reports that they feel like they're going to pass out. It's very hot. And today, you can imagine the humidity was like 100%. So I'm hoping that we'll come to some sort of solution for them. We also discussed the fees and dues collection for the Booster Club. A lot of them were concerned about if they would have to foot any of the bills of the new athletic and club fees that are coming from the district. They were assured that, the Booster Club won't have to fill any gap or shortfall for the students, and they should, any student feeling a hardship should reach out to the school directly, if that was the case. And I think that's it. Any questions? It was a nice meeting, but lengthy.
No
Questions or comments? Sorry, I have to look this way. Teacher, go this way.
Okay,
No?
no
Okay.
questions. Mr. DeVito and Ms. Wright, do you have any committee reports? No. Mr. Barrios?
Thank you, Madam President. Policy met on the 22nd. In attendance were myself, Mrs. Chappelle, Mrs. Delafave, President Kogan, Ms. Benos, and in spirit was Dr. Mulrooney. It was a very, very good, well-rounded meeting. We started the process of reviewing policies that, especially the ones that are done on the annual basis during the beginning of the school year with the new teachers and anything that has to be re-upped annually. So we started looking at that, plus there were revised policies that came down from Strauss-Esme that were being reviewed. So we're holding off on doing the first read until the October 8th meeting. There was no controversies that's holding it up. There was a couple of things that needed to be set for an attorney review, and we just wanted that ironed out before we presented it. For an example, if we had a policy that maybe was last reviewed more than, let's say, 5-10 years ago, it's probably fine, but we just wanted to validate it that there was no changes in law or something like that that wasn't reflective. But we don't believe that's the case, but we wanted to be sure. One policy and regulation that will be, will probably work its way through the other committees would be policy and regulation 7510, use of facilities. It was under review. We had an excellent conversation about this, and some suggested changes were made. Once it's going to get looked at, and then it will be passed over to financial, and then financial will take a look at it, and then it will progress to the next committee or to the board for the first read. And that's all that I have, and that's my report.
Any questions for Mr. Barrios?
So just, will I guess, other than the one for use of facilities and such, which you're going to review in finance as well, but will these other policies be up there for the full board to review at some point sooner than the October 8th meeting? Like, the longer the better. So
No, yes.
That was the main part of the discussion. We wanted to make
Got it.
sure everybody
Got it.
had plenty of time to
Got it.
Right,
review
we
them.
didn't want to force it tonight, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, again, nothing controversial, but we just wanted to make sure.
Sure.
Okay, I think that's all our committee reports. Do we have any other liaison reports that anybody would like to speak on tonight? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to approval of minutes for the regular and executive minutes of September 11th, 2025. Can I have a motion, please? Mrs. Mayor, and a second. Mrs. Delafave, roll call.
Mrs. Abraham?
Yes.
Mr. Barrios?
Yes.
Mrs. Delafave?
Yes.
Mr. DeVito?
Yes.
Mrs. Mayer?
Yes.
Mr. Rhea?
Yes.
Dr. Wright?
Yes.
Mrs. Chappelle?
Yes.
Mrs. Kogan?
Yes. We are up to Superintendent Bulletin number 4, Dr. Mulrooney.
This is my spot.
This is you.
Hello, everyone. As you know, we had all our back-to-school nights the past month. They were all completed and were very successful. I know many of you enjoyed attending them, wearing multiple hats, right, as a board member or as a parent. You talked about Hidden in Plain Sight at Par Hill. Central also had that program where parents are kind of taught about the various ways that students can use subterfuge to mask paraphernalia and things around their rooms. Is really an insightful program. At the Hills, in particular, they had just a wide array of students helping guide teachers, guide parents, and direct traffic. So it's great always to see teenagers in leadership positions and helping out, and they did a great job. PHHS had their financial aid night last night, so that process begun, the education of parents about the college process and what all those applications and loans and everything looks like. I'm going to talk about pathways a lot in all these updates. We had our first VPA and Humanities Pathway meeting with the actual incoming freshman class. I was able to see the Hills meeting where they had some pizza and they brought the kids in. They talked about the details, the expectations. At one point, they asked the students to think about who they would want to meet to have lunch with that was related to their pathway of choice. and I thought you'd get a kick out of some of the names they chose. So they said George Bush, Tim Burton, Judge Judy, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson were some of the ones that I remember. But it was cool. They're excited. We are actually, if you remember the rap duo Run DMC, in the past,
Classical music.
yes, and in the past, one of the members, I forget his name. I feel so bad. I met him. He's like the greatest ever. Was at Rockaway Meadow. Mr. Cruz has this connection with him, so he's going to come back, and we're hoping he's going to be our first speaker to kick off the humanities and VPA programs that we offer. So it'd be really, really exciting. He's a tremendously altruistic and talented guy. Yesterday and today, the academic office met with all the first-year staff members to work on their SGO and PDP. Kind of the first year they were doing these borderline intricate forms that are required by the state. We'll meet with them monthly throughout the fall and then pick up again in the winter as a part of our new staff academy. We used to do it every month all year, but we kind of felt like they have a lot of meetings, so we pick our spots now. Next month we'll be talking about back to school night and feedback and guidance. So it's always a nice time to sit down with those new teachers. I will say, it's with a heavy heart, people, that this is my last acting board meeting. In all seriousness, I want to thank you guys. You were really great to work with, and it was a pleasure. And Parsippany is massive. Did you know this? Did you know it's a big, massive district? And there's so many moving parts. And to see it from yet another angle, having taught and coached and advised and been a building administrator, to see from another angle, it wows me even more. We have all these amazing, talented teachers and custodians and administrators and support staff who are doing every day. They show up and do their job, and it's really wonderful to do that. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank Steve and Colleen and Todd and Nancy, and of course, Joni, for keeping the ship in between the lines. That's mixed metaphors there. Yeah, but just doing all they do to keep this place running, and Joni, you're the absolute best. So I have for you, as a thank you, superintendent bullet items 1 to 31, and addendum items 32 to 45, and some read-ins.
I was all ready to do that, too.
No, I got you. Fourth time's the charm.
There you go.
Well, we thank you very much for stepping in and being the acting superintendent for the past few months. We absolutely appreciate it, and, you know, and we're glad that you are not going too far.
Right over there.
So.
Right over there.
Are there any questions or comments on the superintendent's bulletin? All right, secretary's report. Oh, sorry.
Just
There
again,
it is.
another thank you, Dr. Mulroney, for taking on the role.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful place, so my pleasure.
Dr. McHugh, secretary's report.
Okay, so we have 2 board secretary reports tonight. So in the regular bulletin, motion number 30 is just our normal July, and motion 32 in the addendum is a restatement of the June board secretary report. Robin's been working very closely with Nick, our accountant, going through and closing out the year, and therefore there had to be some adjusting journal entries, and it changed the board secretary report. So although we didn't have to reapprove it, I just felt more comfortable approving it and resending it to the county, so everything's nice and clean. So.
Are there any questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What was the nature of the adjustments? Anything material? Or?
Nothing major, but a whole bunch of tiny little adjustments here and there. So.
Okay. All right.
Mrs. Mayor, you look like you want to say something.
I don't have a question, but I wanted to just mention the fair on Sunday. The turnout at the board table was unbelievable. They were like flocking, and I have to thank Joni because she had all that swag, and she even got more on her own budget throw in, and we still used it all up. It was crazy. And there was a lot of literature out, and some of them took about pathways, and they were interested, and I know that you had a very interesting discussion, but the board table was really, really very busy with people coming over, talking, and the kids with their, putting their little guess in the jar, which was started how many years ago? Yeah. But it always brings them over, but parents come over, and they were looking at all the brochures, so It really was well-attended.
It definitely was. Thank you, Mrs. Benos, for making sure that that ran very smoothly. And there were quite a few teenagers that came up and said, I'm in the Pathways program. They were very excited, so. Okay.
I just had
Go ahead, Ms. Abraham.
I forgot to mention something earlier. There was an email that was sent out to us about the Parsippany Hills High School field hockey team hosting an annual Green Out game on Friday, October 3rd, to promote and raise money for mental health awareness. Just wanted to mention that starts at 3:50 p.m. at Jannerone Park, and the flyer, they did send out a flyer, and it also says to please wear green to the event. I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Okay, I don't believe there's any new business for tonight, so we will move to the hearing of the public. At this time, if there's anyone who would like to address the board, please come up, sign your name and address in the book at the lectern, and state your name for the record, and please address the chair. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak to the board. It would be helpful if you would like to address the board to speak. Please come up now, sign in so that you are ready when the first speaker is finished. As a reminder, we are video recording this meeting. If you are a student who wishes to speak, we ask that you not provide your home address, but rather give only the name of the municipality in which you live. If you're a parent wishing to discuss a specific matter pertaining to your child during this portion of the meeting, you may request that the board temporarily suspend the video recording. Alternatively, please consider speaking privately about the matter to the superintendent after the meeting. Speakers should refrain from using specific student or staff names in their comments and are referred to Bylaw 168 for further information regarding the videotaping of our meetings.
Good evening, everyone. This is Lamia. I live on Ambler Way in Parsippany. Welcome, Mrs. De La Fave. This is my first time meeting you as an official board member. So I have a few questions. I'm sure they'll be answered after. So how often does the school do the facility rounding? Because I have a few questions about that. Few students actually brought up, it's been a few years that the locks in the girls' bathrooms in the high school, they've been broken. So I had to address, there were some other concerns about the sink, and I have videos and pictures, and they sent me all of that, that the sinks are very filthy, and they do appulations for like prayers or whatever, and they can't even put their face to wash it up. So that's so I wanted to kind of figure out how often the roundings are done. And I did ask about the locks if it was recent. I do understand, I heard some students kind of just go in there and wreck things up, but it seems like the locks were from September. She was a freshman in high school and now she's a junior. So it's been a couple of years. So I just wanted to figure out about that. I heard about the upgrades at the Hills. This is amazing, but I just want to know if it also happens at the high, because I feel like one part of the schools, like especially when it comes to the high school, they're getting more improvements than the other side. So I'd like to hear about that. And lastly, some parents are concerned about when the teachers are absent in high school and then they don't have substitute teachers, and some students are sitting in the cafeteria losing teaching education time because there isn't anyone to kind of sit there and kind of teach the students. So those are my 3 concerns for the night. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other member of the public? Okay, so I will close the public session. Dr. Maroney, do you want to answer anything now, or? Okay. You will follow up with you.
I should say. It's different time.
Okay. So then we are up to the roll call vote for Superintendent Bulletin number 4, items 1 through 31, with addendum items 32 through 45 and read-ins. May I have a motion, please? Mrs. Mayer, second Mrs. Abraham. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Abraham.
Yes.
Mr. Barrios.
Recuse on 16, yes to everything else.
Mrs. Delafay.
Yes.
Mr. DeVito.
Yes.
Mrs. Mayer.
Yes.
Mr. Rea.
Yes.
Dr. Wright.
Yes.
Mrs. Chappelle.
Yes.
Mrs. Kogan.
Yes. Okay, there being no further business, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Dr. Wright, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Mr. DeVito will second. Meeting adjourned.
See you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys. Good to see everybody.